Hi, this is Sean Casey, and I'm excited to tell you the story of how I won Eben Pagan's Ferrari. I'm going to tell you a lot of detail, a lot of background, everything kind of that went on. One thing I will not be telling you are exact numbers because they're private and they are Eben's business and the business of other affiliates that were involved in his promotion. So I'm not going to share with you exact numbers as much as many of you might like to know that. I'm not here to tell you that. But what I'm going to tell you is the story about how this whole thing came to be, how Telman Knudsen and I got involved in this contest, and I'll explain Telman's involvement in a minute. Give you a very good idea about how you can act as a super affiliate to sell any kind of different product or service using the same techniques and strategies that I'm going to talk about here, and how you as the promoter, the person who owns a product or service and wants to create a lot of sales of it, can work with other affiliates to turn them into super affiliates, how you can work with other affiliates to turn them into super affiliates, how you can really be tight with people and making yourself into having this great opportunity to, and how you can really turn everything into a super opportunity to work with people that have the ability to sell out of your products and services. Once you kind of understand how I worked this and how other people work in this similarly in the same kind of environment, you're going to know as the product owner how to really kind of work with them and create yourself a good situation with everything. So with that all, let's get started and see if we can't get you this entire story laid out. By the way, if I was you, I'd have a notepad around and take some notes because I think you're going to find a lot of stuff that's really instructive in all this. So the entire story begins when I got an overnight FedEx package from Eben Pagan. I don't know who Eben is, and he runs a $20 million information products business, a large part of which is focused in the online dating industry, and it's all about information products for men and for women to help them in the field of dating and getting dates and developing relationships and all kinds of different things along those lines. Being happily married myself, I've not dug into any of it, so I don't know any more details than that. But Eben's a very smart, very successful man, and so he was developing a program he calls Guru Mastermind. And the idea of Guru Mastermind was he was going to take all that knowledge that he had accumulated from creating this very substantial $20 million a year company, and the knowledge and the expertise of his top staff members, and they were going to have this coaching program. It's going to be a monthly coaching program called Guru Mastermind, in which they would teach people the A to Z of creating info products and creating the marketing systems, the back-end systems, and everything else that allow you to have a multi-million-dollar info product business. So he overnights me this CD, and it starts out with this video from him, and he goes into, I'm going to do this very cool launch, and let me show you what the prizes are. And the next thing you know, there's this video with Eben driving at high speed on the road in this Ferrari. And he said, that's right, you guessed it. I'm giving away, my Ferrari 360 Spider as the top prize for the affiliate who sells the most people into Guru Mastermind. Now, I didn't know it at the time. I do now, having won the car, that this car is worth $135,000. It's a very nice automobile. The second prize that he was giving away as he drives out of the parking garage, next his second prize was his Mercedes, which is a very, very nice Mercedes. And the third prize was his Rolex watch. And there are a bunch of other prizes. I can't remember all the other ones, but those were the top prizes. So anybody who was in this significant prize on top of the money they would obviously make as an affiliate or a JV partner for this promotion. So, well, that got my attention. I thought, well, that's really cool. He'll probably get everybody in the world trying to get in on this promotion with those kind of prizes up there. I really had no thought at that time that it would be me that would end up with a car, because I really didn't think that I had the list size, the customer base, the high-ticket customers, or the marketing staff or anything else compared to many of the people that were going to go tooth and nail after these kind of prizes. I even had somebody who runs a very large marketing company tell me that they thought that they could split their list and go after both both cars. They really kind of had a plan in mind that they would end up with both cars. And so there were a lot of people making big plans on how to win these big prizes because they're very valuable. And besides that, you do admittedly get a little bit of bragging rights when you've nailed the biggest prize going out there. Cars. And so there were a lot of people making big plans on how to win these big prizes because they're very valuable. And besides that, you do admittedly get a little bit of bragging rights when you've nailed the biggest prize going out there. And so I never really thought about it, but Eben is a great guy. I believe he was creating a great product based upon what I knew from my personal interaction with Eben. And I am a strong believer in the information product business because I've made millions of dollars selling info products. I sell millions of dollars a year of info products and will continue to do so. I've taught a lot of people how to get started in the info products business. And so there was a natural fit between what I had been teaching the people on my list and what Eben was teaching, certainly. And I really have a lot of belief in information products. I think it is one of the greatest businesses in the world. I think it's a business that anybody can start from scratch and do very well in. And so I thought that this was going to be just a tremendous program. And I knew that the people on my list would be really interested in learning more about it from Eben. For this promotion, what I always do in front of any big promotion where I'm going to get seriously involved in doing the promotion is a couple of things. First of all is I always want to talk to the person who's the creator of the product, in this case Eben. And if he has somebody who's a strong person running his affiliate program, talk to that person. So I'm really tight in the loop as exactly what's going on, how they're promoting and everything else. In this case, a gentleman named Andrew, who's a very sharp guy and was very helpful in this process. And so I got on the phone a couple of times with Eben and Andrew and really worked through with them how the promotion was going to go, what the benefits were really going to be for the people that signed up, where they were going to get the value, how it was going to impact their lives and really make a big difference for them. And I also wanted to get access to the sales letter so that I can understand how they're approaching that promotion, see the testimonials they had, see the advanced videos that they were going to use as part of a pre-launch process, and to really understand the offer, and then to kind of preview some of the existing product parts because he had already sold this initially to his list. So he had started teaching this training course and they was able to see some of the materials that they created, which were just absolutely first-class materials. And that's a way for me to really get an idea of how what they're doing can fit to my list. So let's talk about something that's really important here. And that is that if you're going to make a substantial amount of sales of anything, going to have a good conversion rate, the two most important elements in order to accomplish that are the list, the group of people that you're marketing to, and the offer that you make to that group of people. And the more tightly targeted that you make that offer to that group of people, the better you're going to create sales. Now, this sounds incredibly obvious when I say it, but that is not what that marketplace is interested in. And so when you do that, you don't get great sales. Sometimes you don't get much of any sales. And if you've ever launched a promotion and you're wondering what happened, you can often go back and say, look, I tried to shove this product down this market's throat and it's the wrong thing. I mean, to give you an idea, if I have a group of people who are NASCAR fanatics, okay, and there are certainly millions of those here in the U.S., and I send them an offer for how to create and have their own Zen garden, there's not much of a match there to the market, is there? Right? I mean, some people might randomly be interested in that, but it probably is not really that targeted. Now, if I was to sell them send them an email or a letter in the mail that offered the NASCAR Collector Series and maybe a free membership in the NASCAR like Insider Gossip Club, hey, people might randomly be interested in that, but it probably is not really that targeted. Now, if I was to sell them send them an email or a letter in the mail that offered the NASCAR Collector Series and maybe a free membership in the NASCAR like Insider Gossip Club, hey, now I'm offering them something they're more likely to be interested in. My conversion rate is going to be better, particularly if I have an offer that's related to the kind of things that these people are already buying. And part of what you always want to look at in the marketplace is, what are people already buying? Well, in the case of you being a super affiliate and you building your own list and your own database and your own customers and everything else, you know what your list is doing. And if you're smart, and if you weren't before this, you will be in just a minute, what you're going to be always doing is keeping careful track of what it is your list is doing. What does your list buy? Why do they buy it? Knowledge of what your list responds to, then you know the very best offers to make to your list. Because remember, what do we come back to? We come back to your list and you come back to the offer. And it's going to become important as I explain the story, because this is how in the end we were able to make this work. Because we were able to present the offer that Evan had, which is a very fine offer for a very valuable product, in a way that our list could grasp the value of the offer. And for many people that did this promotion, that didn't occur. Now, a lot of times what happens with a big ticket item, and you're going to see this whether it's your big ticket item that you're promoting one day to a list or a database, whatever it might be, or it's somebody else's big ticket item, is that people simply send an email out that's kind of lackadaisical, and it's maybe the clone email that somebody wrote up as the sample, and you see those a lot of times on launch day, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't, but they're often very generic on launch day, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't, but they're often very generic, and it's kind of like, hey, super duper so-and-so course is now live. Like that actually meant something to you as a subject line, and obviously it didn't. And then from there it goes, this is a really cool thing and it just went live, click here to get more information. And they just leave you dead right there. Now, one of the greatest things you can do as an affiliate, and this has been taught by many people in the affiliate world, so you probably have heard this, is to pre-sell. And pre-selling means that you're going to give the person who is going to now go over to a sales letter kind of a background information, reasons why they should be interested, reasons why this might apply to them, particularly if those reasons are not immediately obvious when they're going to get into that other person's sales process. Because a lot of times you'll know your list likes this kind of stuff, or this is the thing they get, or this is the thing here and this other thing here. And I can still remember stealing a great idea from my friend John Reese for one email promotion I did unrelated to Evan Pagan's event, but where I kept looking at this sales letter going, for someone, this sales letter is just horrible. It's so confusing. And John was promoting the product because it was a great product and sent an email that basically said, don't read the sales letter. It's way too confusing. Just watch the videos. The videos will explain the whole thing. And he was exactly right. And I did that, and my list got the connection. We made a lot of sales because John had figured out how to get the message to his list in a way they could understand. And, there's a reason to be on everybody's list is you can steal all the great ideas from people. You don't have to come up with all the great ideas yourself. You can just take them freely from other people and apply them to your business. Sometimes you can apply them right to the same promotion when you've got a list, and that, of course, makes it even easier. So that's one of the reasons I am on pretty much everybody who's a major internet marketer. I'm on their list, and I try to read every single email that comes across, and it's a lot of email, and it gets bogged down sometimes, and I get a backlog that I've got to kind of flip through sometimes, just try to get caught up, but I know what's going on. I know the great ideas they have, and I'm able to educate myself and stay on the cutting edge of all the great ideas that all these smart people have and apply them to my marketing. I've got to kind of flip through sometimes, just try to get caught up, but I know what's going on. I know the great ideas they have, and I'm able to educate myself and stay on the cutting edge of all the great ideas that all these smart people have and apply them to my marketing. And so what you need to look at, any offer that you're going to promote, whether it's a $40 ebook or a $400 course or a $500 a month coaching program, whatever it is, and think to yourself, why would my list, my customers, my subscribers, my people, why would they be interested in this? What is the purpose of me sending this out to them? And if you just send it out cold in a way that's not going to relate to them, then you're not going to have great response. You're not going to get great click-throughs. You're not going to get great sales because you're not telling them that. And one important point here is don't assume that just because you know cool stuff that they know that. Just because you know that, man, everybody knows this, and just go, Ben, you need this SEO thing, and don't explain why. For many people on your list, they're not going to know what it is. But if you take a few minutes to explain, for example, that search engine optimization is the process of working to get your website to show up on the top of the front page of Google when someone searches for your terms. The result of that is you get free website traffic. You get lots of free website traffic. You get to make lots of money with zero marketing costs. That equals incredible profits. So this is why you want to learn some shortcuts and some good things about great search engine optimization. Okay? And you see how if we explain that, now we can trigger a lot of people who might not really get that to go, hey, you know what? I should know something about that, because if I can get some shortcuts and it's not too hard, I might jump on that. And that's a big difference than going to people, hey man, great new SEO book, yet I jump on it. See the difference? So we want to connect the dots for people and bring them into the story. So as I said, what we wanted people and bring them into the story. So as I said, what we wanted to do early on was to sit down with Eben, or at least on the phone with Eben and Andrew, and get the information from them, and to discuss the offer and understand the value proposition that he was going to make and the pieces of the puzzle that were going to get brought in. One of the most effective ways, if not the most effective way that I've ever found to sell big ticket items, is through a teleseminar. And I do a lot of teleseminars to my list. I've created untold millions of dollars in sales. Telman Knudsen and I, during our launch in the spring of 2008 for List Pros, sold $1 million out of a teleseminar. And so we were pretty good at doing that. And I've had a lot of experience and have had many teleseminars where I've sold literally hundreds of thousands of dollars of products right from the teleseminar over the phone to people going straight online to order or calling in to order. They're confused or they might be lost in the process. And so one of the things that I wanted to do with Eben was to schedule a teleseminar for his launch day where I could get all of my subscribers on the phone with Eben, who are anybody interested. Tell them in advance we're going to talk about Eben's new program and about info products, and they're going to get a chance to get into Eben's program, and we'd get the opportunity to grill Eben, find out what he's all about, find out how they could benefit from the program. And in order to do all of this and to be effective, I have a pretty good sized list myself and very successful with email marketing myself. But because with a couple of months before this, I had done a big launch process for a new program called List Pros with Telman Knudsen. We owned a list jointly, as well as Telman having his own list besides all that. And so because I wanted to avoid creating a lot of confusion with my people who were on my list, my people who had got into the customers and the joint and the list that first process for a new program called List Pros with Telman Knudsen. We owned a list jointly, as well as Telman having his own list besides all that. And so because I wanted to avoid creating a lot of confusion with my people who were on my list, my people who had got into the customers and the joint and the list that for launch that I created jointly with Telman, we decided that he would join me in the teleseminar and in this promotion process, because otherwise it was going to be pretty confusing and it's going to be hard for us to sort out who had done which promotion to our joint list and what success we'd had there or not. So that's how Telman and I ended up working together on this promotion, was that because we had just recently done this launch and we had a joint list that was brand new, we wanted to work together in doing this promotion. And again, we really were not thinking that, hey, we were going to go and win, a car or do anything else, but it made a lot of sense, and we really wanted to split a teleseminar for the Thursday. And the way we promoted that teleseminar was we created the teleseminar, and in creating the teleseminar, we created a normal teleseminar opt-in page and explained to people the value of coming to teleseminar and learning stuff from a guy who'd made $20 million in the info products business, all about info products, and how they could learn how Eben and his team would be personally coaching them. And so we explained all that on an opt-in page that people could opt in and register for the teleseminar. We sent out a series of email promotions. I don't remember if we started on Monday or Tuesday, but we started a series of email promotions and we had in excess of 1,000 people registered for the teleseminar, and probably maybe 2,000 people. I don't remember the numbers. And on launch day, we had several hundred people on the phone with Eben Pagan, myself, and Telman. Now, during the teleseminar, Eben presented a lot of great information, and what he was his background in info products and what he had found success and modeling the success of some other people that he'd come across, and how he had now started to translate that into success with the people that he was training and some of the people that had very quick success in doing some stuff with him. And what he was doing was just explaining the whole process. And one of the things you want to do in the teleseminar process, and I don't want to get off too much on a teleseminar tangent here, is to take the idea of everything that you're trying to teach the people, and it really kind of flows like a sales letter. There's kind of like a big headline, why people should be interested. And then it kind of switches into why the person should have credibility for you and what the value is there, and then what they have to offer and why that's valuable, and then why they are, in the end, the person with the product that meets your wants, needs, and desires at the time of wrapping up the entire process of the teleseminar. And teleseminars on launch day can be particularly effective and often have been for me to create a lot of big sales. So we did this teleseminar with Eben. He gave great information. We took questions. We offered a bonus to anybody who would buy. Offering a bonus in a teleseminar is a huge way to create more sales in a teleseminar. And we offered a very nice bonus for anybody who bought in the next few minutes or a limited number, one of the two. It's something we always do, and I've done so many of these I can't tell that apart because it's 3 months ago now that this occurred. But along those lines, we offered a great bonus package during the teleseminar, and I really expected we would have some pretty strong sales numbers. However, this is where we got our first real disappointment. Is we finished the teleseminar. Andrew calls me up. He's like, "Man, you guys were great. Eben was awesome. It's the most excited I've ever heard him in a teleseminar. Really expecting great stuff." And so we get done the whole thing for the hour and a half or 2 hours that we did, and I go to check the stats, and there's like 2 or 3 sales. And I want to tell you about this time. First I'm disappointed, and then I kind of got mad because there's no way that I should not be able to sell an info product package to my list. My list knows info products. They're interested in info products. There's just no way I should have had basically no sales out of hundreds and hundreds of people on the phone. I've done bad teleseminars and done more than a couple of sales. And so I couldn't understand it. I was completely baffled. Got back on the phone with Andrew. We kind of brainstormed maybe what might have gone wrong. I talked to Tellman, and we really couldn't figure out where we might have missed or maybe what might have gone wrong. I talked to Tellman, and we really couldn't figure out where we might have missed the mark here. It was not something where we could put our finger on why things hadn't occurred. But we really were kind of just blown away and didn't see much results there. We did mail out every time we do a teleseminar. One of the great ways we pick up 20, 30, sometimes 40% more sales is as soon as it's over and we get the recording. We post the recording online on a page with the order link and a note about the special offer. And we send that out immediately to all the people who register because many of them couldn't make the scheduled time, and they know we do that. So they go and they'll either listen to the replay or just click the link and check out the order process. And so in doing that, we hope maybe this will just trigger some more sales, and that didn't create any results. And so I was really frustrated and just kind of beside myself. I didn't know what to do. I was in a bad mood the rest of the day, and this is Thursday now. And as I kind of went through and just kept doing this, and my wife asked me what's wrong, and I'm just trying to explain, I don't understand it. Did everything right, did everything we normally do, couldn't make sales. Didn't understand it, and you'll understand it in a short while. But as I'm going to explain shortly, because I'm not trying to confuse you with this, is we actually had a problem with our tracking link, which does get fixed, and I'll explain everything that kind of went on, and there's a great launch lesson in here. But the reason why we didn't suspect the link at the time is because the affiliate software that's a third-party software used by that Eben's team uses, that I use for a lot of my stuff called Direct Track. I know intimately how it worked, and because we had sales that showed up, we didn't think anything of the fact that maybe the link that we and as we find out in hindsight, the link was screwed up. We didn't know it at the time. And so I'm completely frustrated, but knowing that my list is interested in info products, and this is a great product, it just kept eating away at me. And so we sent out the replay on Thursday later on in the day. Get up Friday, I check the stats. There's like no change. And I'm really kind of boiling at this point because I don't take defeat lightly. And I could have just walked away from this at this point, but I really just felt that this, again, was a great product that should sell to my list, and I refused to quit on the idea that this was going to happen. Because I just knew that there was a way to create this opportunity in a way that my list would recognize it. So I spent some time talking. I think I talked to Andrew again, maybe even to Eben, and kind of like, where are you seeing good results? What kind of people are buying this? What's appealing to them? And then I really stepped back further to analyze his offer. And when I analyzed his offer, what I really noticed second time around, especially after we didn't do good the first time, was that his presentation, his sales letter, was really all about how you could start from scratch and learn to build this big thing. And the reality is that the average person doesn't really want to start from scratch. We just don't. And we don't really want to start from scratch and do a lot of work on anything. I don't want to start from scratch fixing my golf game and do a lot of work. I don't want to go to the driving range and practice. I just want to go on the first tee, hit the ball 275 yards straight down the middle, and you can see that on my first hole leaves me about 130 yards to the green. So a nice little soft ball, 275 yards straight down the middle, and you can see that on my first hole leaves me about 130 yards to the green. So a nice little soft 9-iron. Puts me right there pin high. I'm good. I don't want to have to do any work to accomplish that. Okay. That's the reality of the way people think, and whether you want to admit that to yourself or not, you're probably among the 99% of people that also think that way. And so as I looked at what Evan had put together and what people like to buy, I realized that maybe there was a disconnect, that people were not coming all the way in and making the connection, saying, look, this is going to be a great opportunity for me, and yeah, I'm going to put in some work. That's realistic. But in the end, I'm going to have something very valuable that can make me a lot of money and maybe, seriously, potentially make me millions of dollars like it has Eben and myself and lots of other people. And so I kept looking at this and working with it. And so what I decided to do would explain to them why the info products business was so good. And so I created some PowerPoint slides about the info products business and why it was so great, and explained to them why I thought Eben's offer was great, and offered them a bonus package. And the bonus package is one of the keys here to how we started to create sales. But the bonus package essentially was to put someone instantly in the info products business, number one, by giving them info products they could sell right away if that's what they wanted to do, so that they could make that mental leap to, okay, I don't got to wait months to get started making sales. I can make sales right away if I want to do that. The second thing that I did was I gave away my own personal info products course that I'm the author of, which is we normally sell for $1,000. Then, of course, I gave away my own personal info products course that I'm the author of, which is we normally sell for $1,000. And so that was a huge bonus for the people to get into this. So I created a package that instantly got them into the info products business and gave them my training course as a way to instantly start from my perspective, as well as then, of course, having Eben's perspective and Eben's live training event that was part of the first month. And I think he gives them every 3 months as part of all this. So I really worked to create and to change the offer around to better fit and target into my list in a way in which they could understand that info products are great, and I really want to be in the info product business, and here's a way for me to shortcut in being and do it immediately. And then Eben is going to take the next 12 months and coach me in this program and really teach me more and fine-tune it and everything else. And so I wrote out these PowerPoint slides. I finished about midnight. My wife and I were leaving the next morning on Saturday to go to Pittsburgh. I think we had to leave for the airport at 8 o'clock because we're flying up there for my brother-in-law's 70th birthday party. So I get up at 6 a.m. I dash off and record this video in Camtasia, produce the flash video, slap it online, create a quick redirect link to it, send an email going, this is really important, how to make money in the info product business. I got this free video for you. Go watch it. Send it off. Off we go to the airport and do our thing, get on the plane, fly up to Pittsburgh, eventually visit some people and everything else. I finally get to some place where I can pop the laptop open and check my stats, and you guessed it, no sales. And so I was with people, and so we had a great 70th birthday party with friends and family, And that was a lot of fun all Saturday night and everything. Get back to Pat's cousin's house, my wife's cousin's house, where we're staying, and I checked the stats again real quick, and there's no change. And I get up Sunday morning and I check the stats again, and there's still no change. And I'm completely baffled. I cannot understand how we're not getting anywhere, because I just know that this is a product that can be sold, and I am truly, thoroughly frustrated by this. Can't understand it. Don't know what's going on. I'm probably not expressing to you clearly how upset and frustrated I was by all of this, and knowing that I'm just not making a connection, and thinking to myself that I truly believe that there's a way for me to make sales of this product, and I'm not doing it. And I'm just not making a connection, and thinking to myself that I truly believe that there's a way for me to make sales of this product, and I'm not doing it. And I just could not understand how I could be missing the mark so widely, because I know that I know my list and what they're interested in, what they want to know more about. And yet here I was, missing the mark and not very happy about it. So Sunday, basically, I just ignored this all day. I went out, my wife, we visited family and her 90-plus-year-old aunt and everybody else, and just had a very pleasant day and forgot all about this, didn't really think about it that much. Had a good night's sleep. Monday, my wife and her cousin go off shopping, and so I just did a little work to get caught up. And by early afternoon, which is morning on the West Coast, I emailed Andrew and asked him where the standings were in the contest. They really weren't out of reach if I could create just some way to make a lot of last-minute sales. And so what I did is I sat around and schemed for about an hour, and I came up with a tremendous idea how I could get a lot of people on the phone on Tuesday night, because the whole promotion ended Tuesday at midnight at Pacific time. And I thought, what would people be really interested in getting on the phone about that I could get their attention, and how could I make an offer that might create a bunch of sales? And if we created a bunch of sales, we could still get in this. And now, again, I'm still not thinking to myself, we could go in a fee. But, second place is a Mercedes, third place is a Rolex. And besides that, we get paid for this, and probably overriding on top of that, I'm thoroughly convinced that I can make sales of this product, and I can't figure out how I'm doing this. So I plotted out the whole thing, called up Telman Monday afternoon. He asked me, of course, why I was calling him when I was supposed to be taking a couple days off, and this is the entrepreneurial curse sometimes, and not to be funny, but I was exchanging emails with a billionaire earlier today, in fact, who wrote me from his vacation about a promotion that I had just promoted and mailed out for him. And I asked him how he was doing on his vacation, besides the fact that he kept emailing me every day. And he said, well, I flunked retirement, and I'm flunking vacation too. And it is what happens. But when you enjoy what you're doing, and normally I do enjoy what I do, as you could probably tell, sometimes you're just sitting there in the middle of this going, it's not working. I don't understand it. You just want to rip your hair out. So I called Telman up and said, Telman, here's what we need to do. We need to make this work. I really am convinced that this can be done. And so what we decided to do was we were going to do a teleseminar that would tell the story of how we had used a teleseminar to sell more than $1 million of our List Pros product in a single day, a single teleseminar. And so we scheduled what we called an emergency teleseminar. So this is now Tuesday afternoon for something that ends in less than 36 hours. So we literally slapped together a quick opt-in page. It's like, emergency teleseminar, the secrets of the $1 million teleseminar. We're going to tell you the step-by-step of how we did this teleseminar and everything that was involved. And we're going to go spill our guts on all of it. And we drafted up some emails. So we literally slapped together a quick opt-in page. It's like, emergency teleseminar, the secrets of the $1 million teleseminar. We're going to tell you the step-by-step of how we did this teleseminar and everything that was involved. And we're going to go spill our guts on all of it. And we drafted up some emails and explained, because now you can't just, by the way, announce, hey, we're having this huge teleseminar. You got to sell the teleseminar even though it's free. So had to explain to people and why they should be on the teleseminar, because most of the people aren't going, hey, look, I'm going to do a teleseminar, sell $1 million. Until I did $1 million, I wasn't even sure it could be done. Until John Reese did $1 million in a day, I never thought of doing it. And John did it. I was like, well, that's really cool. That'd be a lot of fun to go do. And now, I've done it more than once, and so have obviously a lot of other guys. It's a real big number to break, but it clearly can be done. In fact, it's based on that number too. So it's out there and it can happen. But what you need to do to keep this in perspective is realize that he says, wow, I sold $1 million in one day in a teleseminar. Well, we did that. And, we had like 5,500 or 5,700 people registered for the teleseminar. We did tremendous promotion. We had 2,500 plus people on the actual teleseminar. It was a massive, massive event. But if you look at the numbers, you say, well, I'm never going to put that kind of people in a teleseminar. That's not the point. What you got to realize is this. Just look at this is what I explained in the email promotion and the landing page was, look at the numbers that we were able to do. You register 5,000 people, you sell $1 million. That's what, $200 per head in sales. Okay? That's all you got to think about. So what if you only registered 500 people? That's $100,000 in sales if you had the same kind of offer and applied it. Okay? So you want to bring the scale down to a scale that works for you and wherever you are in your business growth. It's not something I could have done a year ago, much less 5 years ago. And the strategies and the techniques and the system that I've developed over the years of doing these teleseminars is very powerful. And other than when I had my big debacle the previous Thursday with not selling a lot of things from Eben, worked really well normally. And so we explained to people how we were going to reveal the step-by-step of this $1 million teleseminar. And we're having this emergency teleseminar Tuesday night at 9 p.m. And so my wife actually doesn't know I'm doing this. She's out shopping, right? So she gets back, and I can't remember actually if I mentioned to her that we were doing this at the time, but because she gets nervous about me, doing crazy things. And we actually were on a flight, left Pittsburgh at like 5 o'clock Tuesday afternoon, landing at 7 o'clock or whatever, getting our luggage, jumping in the car, and I probably got home at like 8:30 to do this big 9 o'clock teleseminar. So I don't worry a lot about this stuff. I took the teleseminar number with me in the car in case we were in the car. Tillman knew with the plane, it would be really exciting trying to do the teleseminar, okay? But hey, there's deadlines, and deadline is the reason we get stuff done. That's why you got to set deadlines for everything, right? So let's go to this teleseminar, do this big promotion, starting on Monday afternoon and Monday evening, telling everybody to go do this. And the Monday is actually my brother-in-law's birthday, so my wife and I take he and his wife out to dinner. We have a great dinner, and we sit and we chat and everything else, and get back. It's maybe like 11 o'clock Monday night, and I sit down with my wife's cousin's husband because the Pittsburgh Pens were playing in the NHL Finals, the Stanley Cup Finals, and he's got the game on. So I sit down in his den, I pop open the laptop to check my email, and there's an email from my sister Sharon. Now, many of you might know my sister Sharon actually runs all my internal operations, so it's not unusual to get an email from my sister Sharon. And this one said, hey, Sean, what are we supposed to do with all the people who... Sister Sharon. Now, many of you might know my sister Sharon actually runs all my internal operations, so it's not unusual to get an email from my sister Sharon. And this one said, hey, Sean, what are we supposed to do with all the people who want their bonus? See, I emailed her back, and thankfully she works crazy hours, which is why she gets to work for me. And I emailed her back and said, well, how many people are there? Because this would have been a bonus that I told them to go when I did the video. I told people, after you buy, you need to email us so that we know to send you all the bonus stuff. And she emails back, there's like 12 people. Like, well, this is fascinating. Because these are 12 people, and I go and type and log in to check the stats, and there aren't 12 people that sales we made. There's still 2 or 3 sales or whatever showing. And so, at this point, I'm thinking maybe I'm not a complete idiot. I actually have figured out how to sell this product. And but I still can't understand why it did morning now, and it's not showing us sales. Cannot possibly understand this. So stay up really late, and I think the game went into the second overtime, and it's like 1 in the morning now, and I'm bleary-eyed. it's like 1 in the morning now, and I'm bleary-eyed, but excited because the Penguins won in overtime, and I go to bed. About 6 a.m. I wake up, and I am now just absolutely fired up because, number one, I know we've made some sales. That has moved us substantially closer to getting in the real prize hunt here. And I prove that this thing sells, but I cannot understand why the tracking isn't up. And unfortunately, since it is 6 a.m. on the East Coast, I can't call anybody on the phone. And it's 3 a.m. in California, so really I'm not going to be able to call anybody on the phone for like 6 more hours and expect anybody to give me an answer. So I'm sitting there playing around, and I'm writing the promo emails to send some more email out and promote the teleseminar that night. And finally, I actually get smart for one of the few times maybe in this entire promotion. And I said, I got to look at my affiliate link. And so get my affiliate link, and I put it into my browser, and I hit enter, and I watch that the affiliate link changes to another affiliate link in the process. It changes as it's redirected into a program. And I noticed that this changed affiliate link ends in the number 10,000. And 10,000, I just happen to know, for many other affiliate programs, is the default number. When there's no affiliate, it just puts in 10,000. I don't know why that's a programming thing, but a lot of them do that. So I think, well, maybe this is screwed up. So I go dig out some emails from other marketing guys, and I click on their order links, and I watch their affiliate links, and I watch their affiliate link resolve, and it goes to a specific number greater than 10,000, like 10,112 or whatever. And so I realize that my affiliate link is screwed up. And then I actually get even smarter, because it dawns on me that the one way I can figure out whether or not this really tracks is if I click on the link and go buy. So I click on the link and go buy the product, and I get my order confirmation email, and it doesn't track the sale. And so I realized that I've been using a defective affiliate link this entire time. It's no wonder I was frustrated. The link didn't work at all. Now, it's pretty amazing what goes on here in my mind, because I'm thinking to myself, this is horrible. This affiliate link that didn't work, and I can't understand how that could be, because some sales are in there. So we send an email to our list and say, look, if you bought product, get us a support ticket to us with a copy receipt, because we owe you a bunch of stuff, and our tracking's messed up, and we're never going to get this stuff to you if you don't get us in your receipt. And we get a bunch of receipts at this point in from people. And so mid-morning, I write an email to Andrew and Eben and said, hey, you know what? The tracking's screwed up. You guys got to go and dig in to the stats and into your system and go pull out all the detail and figure out why this is. Now, one of the things you should realize is that if you're going to do these really huge launches, is that stuff gets screwed up. And it gets screwed up through no one's fault. Seriously. But what you always want to do is have a secondary. Now, one of the things you should realize is that if you're going to do these really huge launches, is that stuff gets screwed up. And it gets screwed up through no one's fault. Seriously. But what you always want to do is have a secondary level of tracking. And what that means is we do this in our big launches, so do most of the people. You want the ability to go into the raw data of all the clicks and cookies and everything else, and have someone be able to pull a report out that shows you what really happened. Even if stuff didn't get tracked correctly and reported correctly to affiliates in the system, if you've got the raw data, you can go in there and reconstruct everything that's involved in the program. So you don't have to rely on one system that if something gets messed up, you can't go figure out the numbers. Because I can tell you, and more the one time in launch. In our launch, we had some problems we had to go and fix and track stuff down. What happened in this process is that when they created an affiliate link, they created a redirect link through a software program so that they could trigger a tracking system that they wanted to use. And so someone had gone in and manually created a couple hundred affiliate links, how many ever it was, a lot of them. And there were 3 or 4 that it turns out when they checked at all the details were actually defective. there was a link there was a missing character or something in the wrong place, whatever it was, but didn't work. But of course, the good news is that they actually knew how to go track this, and we, of course, could get receipts from the people who had bought. So we were going to make things okay, but we now realize that we were in the hunt to get a serious prize, and we'd made a lot of sales, and now I started to get reasonably excited about this entire process and what was going to go on because I knew that this entire process and what was going to go on because I knew that if we could just have a little bit of luck at the last minute, we could really go after this. And this contest started to get very hotly contested on the last day. There were a bunch of people that were really close to getting one of these top prizes, the cars or the Rolex. There was actually one of the guys in the contest that someone I don't know personally, and I'm certainly not going to mention his name, who I know from friends of his, was out on a date and calling Andrew to get updates because he was right in the hunt, and ended the date early to go home and send out more email to try to create more sales. So, these are big prizes. So, a lot on the line here, and a lot of opportunity for people in this promotion. And so what happens is that we actually figure all this out today, go to the airport, fly home, grab the quick executive dinner at Mickey D's, and get home in time to do this teleseminar. And so what we did on the teleseminar now is we're now running into a deadline. And the deadline is absolute, and it's not of our making, which makes it a great deadline to be able to sell against. Because if you're going to make sales, you need a reason for people to take action. And one of the greatest reasons in the world for people to take action is the sale ends, essentially, right? How many times you go to the department store, or the furniture store, whatever, and this table's on sale or the rug's on sale, and you want to know when the sale ends because you're not really ready to make a decision. And it's Friday, and the sale ends Monday night at 9 o'clock. And so, are you in a hurry? No. But if you're in there on Monday night at 7 o'clock and the sale ends at 9 o'clock, you got to make a decision. And see, if you make people make a decision, sometimes they say no, but sometimes they say yes. And if you make people make a decision, sometimes they say no, but sometimes they say yes. And many people, especially younger marketers, people that aren't not age-wise, but just newer at this, you'll hesitate to make people to make a decision. But see, you want to force decisions, because when you force decisions, then you give people the opportunity to say yes. If you don't force a decision, then you never give people the opportunity to say yes. And if they can't say yes, then you can't make any sales. And so knowing that as we start this teleseminar, it's 9 p.m. on the East Coast, which means 6 p.m. on the West Coast of the U.S., means we are 6 hours from the end of this promotion at the time we start this. And so we go into a very detailed teleseminar, which lasted, I think, pretty close on to 75 to 80 minutes of nothing but content, really, and we explained in great detail all the steps and everything all the steps and everything behind the $1 Million Teleseminar. How we did it, what we thought of, how we came up with the concept, how we applied it all, every step that we took, like the 20 plus steps that we took to create the teleseminar and the landing pages and the promo emails and everything else that we did in the teleseminar. We explained the whole process step by step, gave them a whole rundown, exact checklist they could write down and what to do for all the steps, explained how we applied all the steps to the teleseminar. And then we created a truly irresistible offer, because what we decided to do was this. After getting everybody all excited about this great teleseminar, we told them that at some point we were probably going to sell this teleseminar training, The Secrets of the $1 Million Teleseminar. We were going to put together a package that would include the entire background of how to do a teleseminar correctly, how to plan it, how to implement it, templates for the landing page, templates for the emails, templates for putting on the actual teleseminar itself to create sales, template for the order form, that we were going to create a training that showed them really the secrets of the $1 Million Teleseminar. And besides training them, that we were actually going to give them the $1 Million Swipe File. And the $1 Million Swipe File is the file that contains the exact emails, landing page, confirmation page, homework page, order page, follow-up emails, replay, a recording of the $1 Million Teleseminar, and includes a transcript of the $1 Million Teleseminar, and includes the actual script we use to put on the $1 Million Teleseminar. So literally, you get a proven $1 million blueprint to follow and model for what you're doing. And we also would give them, as part of that package, the standard operating procedures on how to put on a teleseminar right, because just like a pilot has a checklist to take off in a plane, you want to have a checklist whenever you do big promotions, especially teleseminars, because you don't want to miss and crash, right? And so we offered to give them that package, which we said we probably were going to sell in the future, but weren't ready to sell right now. And we would probably be selling that for $500 or more. And in fact, we have recently offered that program for sale for the very first time as an introductory special for $697. And so we offered to give special for $697. And so we offered to give people that teleseminar package if they would sign up for Eben's Guru Mastermind program. In addition to that, we also offered to give them the same package that I had offered in the video that I had created the previous Saturday morning, that when I got up at 6 a.m. to do. We offered to give them all the info products they could start selling right away, as well as my info products course. So we created a very tightly wrapped info products promotion. You notice how all of this dovetails together. It goes together because instant info products, instantly in business, get my info products course, and what is the very best way to sell high-ticket info products, teleseminars, and now you're going to get to teleseminar training. So we have the beginning part to get you right into business even faster. We have the beginning part to get you right into business even faster than Eben was planning to do that. And as you develop your business with Eben, we're going to give you the detailed teleseminar information that lets you leverage that business and be able to sell high-ticket items using teleseminars. And so this was a great offer, and people dove on this offer. So we finished this teleseminar, and and it's now, by the time we get done this, we answer questions. It's now 11 o'clock on the East Coast. And so as we're doing this, we start to look at we go back and start to check the stats. And somewhere in all of this, about the same time, Andrew had found all of our missing sales and had input those into the system. And so all of a sudden we have sales are pouring in. And we don't know where we stand contest-wise or anything, but we know we're making a lot of sales. And we know that's good because we're making money and promoting Eben and everything else, but home this prize. So we realize that our normal thing, if you remember what I said earlier, after we do a teleseminar, we send out a replay and the link to the replay, and we let everybody come and listen to the teleseminar. Well, now it's 11 o'clock. We are 4 hours from the absolute deadline of this promotion ending. So we don't have a lot of time for people to listen to a 2-hour teleseminar, assuming they've got 2 hours between 11 o'clock and 3 a.m. East Coast time, right? And get their attention on this and get them to have the chance to make a decision if they want to try this or not before the deadline. So what Talman and I discuss, but this time I'm now completely fired up and excited about this, is I actually, starting at 11 o'clock, as we're traveling, create another video. And this one, I went in and just jumped into PowerPoint and just created some quick slides that kind of adapted the presentation I did before, but explained the offer and why they needed to watch the video, and they could listen to the teleseminar anytime. We would leave it up for a few days, but that if they were seriously considering getting into Eben's program, they needed to watch the video right away. And I dashed off a quick, 10 or 15 minute video that explained what we had just done and everything they could get with this mastermind, the secrets of the $1 Million Teleseminar, and what they could get for the info products package, and what the value was that Eben had in his tremendous program and his guarantee, and go to the live event and everything, and all the value that was built in all of that. And that if they wanted to get that, they needed to go right away, because we apologize. We're really not trying to put everybody under pressure, but Eben's shutting this thing off in less than 4 hours. And so if you really want the opportunity to test drive Eben's thing and get all this, you got to go do it now. There is no choice. Your back is to the wall. Are involved in any promotion process where there's a deadline, whether it's your own or someone else's. If you push hard at the end, then you can create an awful lot of sales. This is one of the hidden things that happens in launches that are run by people who know what they're doing, is that you make a lot of sales right towards the end. You can make as many in the last day as you do in the first day. Remember what I said before about people having to make decisions. It's an important concept, because when you get people where they now have to pass or play, some of them are going to play. If you don't get them to that point, they're going to put it off forever. We don't make decisions a lot of times till we kind of have to. I mean, this is just human nature. It's not that it makes you bad or anything. It's just this is the way human nature is. So if there's no reason to make a decision, you don't make a decision. Now, if you got to make a decision because, hey, it's going away forever and you really were interested and, you can try it and the offer's great, then there's a good chance you're going to try it. Like, if there's no reason to make a decision, you don't make a decision. Now, if you got to make a decision because, hey, it's going away forever and you really were interested and, you can try it and the offer's great, then there's a good chance you're going to try it. And so we were able to sell against that deadline. So what I did was I created this video and got it up online in the next half hour, 45 minutes, and I'm racing as fast as I can. I probably talked way too fast in the video, but at least I got the point across. Then I actually had to make a landing page and explain why you had to watch the video, and got that all built up, shipped that up to Telman. Telman slapped in the replay thing for it. I wrote up a quick promo email, or he did, one of the two of us did. And so we sent an email out to all the registrants and probably some of the other people on our list I think that we had, that we get fast delivery to, and that basically said, a last minute notice, we apologize for the last minute notice, but look, this goes away. And we just had this extraordinary teleseminar. We made this amazing offer to give you the secrets of the $1 Million Teleseminar. The program ends before Eben withdraws this thing and takes it off the market. So if you are interested, then you've got to dive into this thing. And so what happens is all the people come and watch the video, and we're watching. As soon as we do this, like within 10 minutes, we start to see more sales. And the sales continued for the next hour or two as more people saw the email and they came and checked it out. And it was pretty amazing. I mean, we actually, in the end, won the contest by a pretty good margin over the second and third place people. There's a good margin between second and third as well in the end, as everybody put a big push on that last night. I don't know what percentage of Eben sales came in the last day. If I had to guess, I'd say because of all the promotion that we did and a couple other people I know did, there were probably more on the last day than there was on the first day. But we really didn't know it was going to happen until we got up the next morning. And then I had to wait till mid-afternoon, my time, before Andrew, I can't remember if he dropped me an email or made a phone call and said, well, it looks like you came in on top, but since we had our tracking issues, now everyone's concerned that they have tracking issues, and certainly they're concerned internally. So they spent at least another day going through, literally meticulously going back and tracking and double-checking all the sales and all the affiliates and everything else. And finally, we get the big congratulations email that we've been waiting for, congratulating on us on having won the Ferrari. And so that's the story. And as I said from the beginning, there were problems, there were challenges, there were times that I certainly was ready to quit. And in hindsight, you wonder why I didn't, other than I really can't imagine why I wasn't able to sell info products. And as it turns out, I was actually able to and didn't know. Fine, and I'm kind of on vacation, enjoying the family and the 70th birthday party and all that kind of stuff, and not really gone after it. I think I went after it harder at the end because I was just so frustrated. I wanted to prove I could do it to myself, because I wanted to prove I could do it more to myself than anybody else, certainly. And it was truly a fascinating process to go through. Now, what I would like you to be able to take away from this is a couple of things. If you're all the way with me to the end, and I appreciate you listening. I hope you found it an enjoyable story. And that is that, number one, you need to get offers that match what your list is interested in, and you need to be able to explain to your list why they're interested in that offer. And when you are the person with the offer, you need to be able to explain to your affiliates, especially the bigger ones, why their list is going to like your offer, why they're going to respond, why it's going to be good for them, why it's going to be something, why their list is going to like your offer, why they're going to respond, why it's going to be good for them, why it's going to be something that they're really, really interested in. See, if you can do that, then you can engage those super affiliates and engage their lists in turn. So it's important to work this both ways, depending upon which side of the table you're on. Are you the affiliate or you're the promoter? So either way, you can take, I think, away a lot from this in terms of how to do that and how to work and how to coordinate this stuff. You can also take away the idea that doing a teleseminar for selling big ticket items is an absolutely great way to do stuff, and you really ought to look into doing that and start to do that if you're not doing it now, because that's how we were able to do this. I mean, we did create some sales the first day with Evan. We certainly created a lot of sales the last day. And as I said, we did the $1 million teleseminar on our own launch. And so it really is a tremendous opportunity for you to do that. And obviously there's a lot of other lessons in here, from the obvious one of don't quit when you're really going after something, to the idea that if you are doing a big launch, you better have a redundant tracking system, because chances are something's going to be messed up in your launch somewhere along the line. And if it's for bigger partners, that's really bad, because they're not going to be happy if you can't fix it and show their numbers to them. And certainly it's not going to make you feel very good if you're not able to be fair and square with everybody that you're dealing with. So again, I hope you take these things away from this and go out there. I mean, apply this into your business. Even if you've got you're a smaller person, or you've got a smaller list, or you're just starting out, you can take these same concepts and apply them to promoter. Obviously, you can't go to Eben Pagan and say, Eben, I know you're selling this thing, and I've got 27 people on my list and I get 3 people on a teleseminar. Can I tie up 2 hours of your time? Because that's crazy. But if you've got a smaller list, you can do a promotion and do a teleseminar without even having the person on the teleseminar. I mean, Eben was not on the second teleseminar. He didn't even know we were doing the teleseminar. In fact, somewhere that night, either Andrew or he emailed me saying they were talking and they couldn't figure out what we did all of a sudden, where we created all these sales. They actually emailed us and say, I don't know what you guys are doing, but you guys are, rocking the house now. And it was because of the teleseminar that we created that Evan wasn't even part of. In fact, was doing teleseminars with other people that evening. So there's a lot of ways to go after this when you really want to go after it. If, again, you take the offer and match it into your list, then you can make a lot of sales. And when you can make big ticket sales by doing that, by doing teleseminars, that's when you can really make a lot of money, because you make $1,000 sale that makes you $300 or $400 or $500 commission. It's a lot more commission than making $20 for selling an ebook. And that's the way you can make and start to leverage and make bigger bucks. And it applies to selling your own stuff, being an affiliate, helping affiliates sell your own stuff as well. And that is the story of how I became a guy who got to drive a Ferrari for at least a little while, until I decided to sell it. But that in itself is another story that we don't have time for. So please take these ideas, go put them into practice, go out there and go win the next big contest, go win the next prize, go just make some bunch of money using these ideas. That's why I took the time to share them with you. So